Hi, I'm Brandy, and I'm from Portugal. You'll never believe what I had to do to get my mom to sign me up for school. But before I continue, please like and subscribe to our channel. I grew up with a super talented mom. Not only was she a songwriter, she was also a famous singer as well. I used to enjoy going to Mom's concerts and cheering her on from backstage. But when I was 5, everything changed. One afternoon, as Mom picked me up from preschool, a man dressed in all black and a mask tried to take me away. Mother! Luckily for me, Mom's bodyguards were able to rescue me, but the man was never caught. From that day forward, Mom decided to homeschool me. When I was 8, I was singing to one of the songs on the radio, and Mom walked into my room.
Brandy, you have a beautiful voice.
Do you think I could go up on stage and sing with you one day?
I'm sure you can, sweetheart.
The next day when I woke up, there was a guitar with a red bow in my bedroom with a note that said, "Love, Mom." While Mom hired the best tutors for schoolwork and to play the guitar, I didn't have any friends. Unless you counted my stuffed rabbit, Whiskers, that my mom bought me. When I was 13, I begged Mom to send me back to school. But Mom went bonkers! I knew I had to take matters into my own hands. And that's exactly what I did. One day, I snuck into Mom's room while she was sleeping and glued all her shoes to the floor.
Brandy! What did you do?
Nothing, Mom. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Another time, Mom threw a party, and I walked into the party dressed in a clown outfit and a full face of clown makeup.
Brandy, what on earth are you wearing?
Isn't it cute, Mom?
Mom was furious. She tried to get me to change, but I told her I'd continue doing weird things until she allowed me to go to a school of my choice. My antics went on for over a year until... One morning during breakfast, Mom made a big announcement.
After much thought, I have decided to send you to the school that you requested.
Are you serious? Thanks, Mom. You're the best.
About a week later, when I entered the classroom on my first day, the kids all looked at me as though I was some type of weirdo.
Weird bunny girl.
Who brings a stuffed animal to school?
After I found my seat, I was a bit excited and nervous as I was not sure of what to expect next. During science class, the teacher asked a question that nobody was able to answer. Well, almost nobody.
Brandy, would you like to have a go at it? Which 2 parts of the body continue to grow for your entire life?
Oh, that's easy. The nose and the ears.
Very good, Brandy.
As the teacher continued with the class, I answered all the questions correctly. What I didn't expect was the death stares from the other students. Like, what was I supposed to do? Not answer the questions?
Who knew that Weird Bugs Bunny Girl was also a geek?
When the bell rang, as I was walking through the corridor, I noticed a glass case with music competition trophies. While admiring it, I bumped into someone. I'm so sorry. When I looked up, before me stood the cutest guy I'd ever seen. Not that I've seen many cute guys.
Hey, it's okay. Jesse's the name.
And I'm Brandy. Before I could get any more words out, someone pushed me from behind. I stumbled and Jesse caught my arm.
You okay, Sunshine? I wanted to see if the geeky bunny girl would have hopped away. Don't be a jerk, Alex. Are you going to stop me, pretty boy?
Jesse?
Great! The trash is taking itself out.
The next day during lunch, I turned up my headphones to silence the teasing from the other kids. Just then, my favorite song came on, and I did what I always do. Belted out the lyrics like no one was listening. But someone was listening.
You sound like a horse trying to sing opera.
Before I could respond, 3 girls walked over to us.
Stuff it, Alex. Are you afraid of a little competition? She sounds amazing and you know it.
I haven't had any real competition in 3 years. Did you check the trophies in the hallways? The name of my group are on them, not yours.
Girl, where did you learn to sing like that?
I told the girls that I was homeschooled and I had had voice lessons. I skipped the part about who my mother was.
We've got some great news. We've all decided to allow you to be a part of our singing group, the A Cappella Sorority Sisters.
Really? I'd love to.
But you'll definitely need to get rid of that stuffed rabbit, and we'll need to go shopping to upgrade your wardrobe.
Finally! I'd gotten what I've always wanted, friends! But it did come with a cost. Ever since Alex found out that I was part of Rebecca's group, he did everything to make my life a living nightmare. One time during class, I stood up to answer a question, and just as I sat down, Alex put a whoopee cushion on my seat. The farting sound wasn't the worst of it. The smell was awful. Kids at school called me Fart Girl for an entire week. One afternoon, while at the mall, I bumped into someone. Jesse, what are you doing here?
Just hanging out. Why are you coming out of the men's store?
Window shopping?
So, I heard you joined the a cappella sorority sisters.
You heard correctly.
Are you any good?
Find me a singing booth, and I'll let you be the judge of that. A few minutes later, we walked into a record store, and the guy set up 2 mics for us.
Let's make this interesting. How about we do a duet?
Is that the worst you can do? Jesse picked the song, and as the music track began to play, our voices blended beautifully. By the time the song was done, there was a crowd of people around us, and they all cheered. After Jesse and I sang, I told him I had to rush to practice with the girls. About 2 hours later, I showed up at Rebecca's, and the other girls were already there. We practiced for about 3 hours before we decided to take a break.
Do you guys really think we could win against Alex and his boys this year? We sure can, now that we have our secret weapon.
Rehearsal was totally awesome, and we decided to meet a few days a week until the competition. But what happened before that shook my world. A few days later, Angelica and I were hanging out at the mall.
Why did you go into that store? Didn't you say that your dad left when you were a baby?
To avoid her questioning, I quickly pulled Angelica over to a display window with the most gorgeous fairy wings ever. Aren't they amazing? I'll buy us a pair, and tomorrow we can wear them to school. The only thing I loved more than bunnies was fairies. I was super excited. I tried to give Angelica her pair of wings, but she insisted that I bring them to school with me the next day. As we walked into the food court, we spotted Alex standing at the front of the line chatting with the cashier.
Listen, I've got to get something for my mom. I'll see you at school tomorrow.
As I walked closer to Alex, I realized that something was wrong.
I know it's here somewhere.
I watched as Alex searched his pockets and his backpack frantically, while the girl behind the counter looked slightly annoyed.
Sir, if you don't have the money, I have to ask you to step out of the line.
I gasped as I saw Alex hold onto one end of the tray and the server held the other. Had Alex lost it?
Please, I need this. Maybe I can do some dishes or something.
I'll pay for it.
That'll be $13.49, ma'am.
I thought Alex may have been too macho to accept help from Brandy the weirdo, but he just stood there. After I paid for his food, I turned to walk away, but he held my hand gently.
Thank you. This really is, thanks.
And with that, he turned and walked away. The next day at school, I couldn't wait to show off my fairy wings, but I stopped in my tracks when I saw Angelica.
Good God, who died and made her the mother of all fairies? And she really thought I would wear fairy wings at school like a freak?
I couldn't understand school kids. Why were they so mean to people who weren't exactly like them?
Hey there, cute fairy wings. Do you have another pair in there for me?
Are you making fun of me, or do you really want the wings?
Does this look like a face that's making fun of you? Let's get these wings on. Shall we head to class, my fairy maiden?
We shall. That day was spectacular. The teachers didn't even mind that Jesse and I wore the wings. Over time, the kids stopped laughing, and they were giving us compliments about the wings. A few girls even asked where I bought them. Later that day, while Jesse and I were having lunch, Rebecca, Trisha, and Angelica walked up to us.
We heard what Angelica did to you this morning, and we're so sorry that she did that. That is not how friends act. Angelica has something she wants to say to you.
I knew that Rebecca and Trisha were trying to do the right thing, but in my heart, it didn't feel right. Angelica looked so embarrassed. I decided to take matters into my own hands. Do you guys mind if Angelica and I have a few minutes alone? Come on, Angelica. Once away from everyone, I felt as though the tension from Angelica's body just lifted. We sat for a few minutes before Angelica broke the silence.
I'm sorry about what I did. I was just so jealous of how Rebecca keeps going on about you. She's my best friend, but now that you're here, she doesn't even act like it.
Have you told Rebecca how you felt? I wanted to come to school to make lots of friends and have new experiences. I haven't gotten lots of friends yet, but the few friends I did have made me feel totally special.
Can you ever forgive me for being such an idiot?
That's what friends do, don't they? They give each other second chances.
I'm going to find Rebecca.
Hey,
Hey yourself.
I just wanted to thank you again for what you did for me the other day. I was taking that food home for my younger siblings.
I'll do that for any friend of mine.
Friend? I've been nothing but mean to you since day one, and you still consider me a friend?
Well, maybe an associate.
Cute, amazing, and a sense of humor.
Did Alex think I had a sense of humor? Tell me more about those younger siblings of yours. I always wanted siblings. For the next 30 minutes, Alex and I shared things about our personal lives. Alex wasn't as bad as he seemed. His family was just going through a rough patch right now, with his mom ill and his dad working all the time. He had 3 younger siblings. Then, he told me something I never would have expected.
The reason I was so mean to you was because I saw all the attention Jesse was giving to you.
But why would that upset you?
Because, I like him.
What do you mean? Oh! Does anyone else know? Don't worry. When you're ready to come out about it, I'll be there to support you.
Thank you.
A few days later, competition night! I was a nervous wreck! When our name called and we stepped onto the stage, I knew this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. After we performed, someone Mom hadn't seen in years was waiting for me backstage. Dad, you made it!
You invited me, and I knew how important this was for you.
Henry, what on earth are you doing here?
Okay, don't go getting confused. You see, when I was 13, I found out that Mom actually didn't write her own songs. She stole them from, drumroll please, my dad. When Dad realized Mom was stealing his songs and didn't give him credit, he tried to fight it. But without proof, Mom's lawyers crushed him, and in the process, he lost me and his dignity. You see, I found out where Dad worked, and that's why I chose to attend Bradford High, because it was close to the mall where Dad worked. I'd visit him a few days a week after school, and I'd always buy a few things before leaving. Now it was time for Mom and Dad to settle their differences, and time for Mom to pay Dad what was rightfully his. Mom, I invited Dad because you've kept him out of our life long enough, and you also owe him for what you stole from him.
What's the meaning of this? We're leaving.
If we leave now, I'll tell everyone what you did and I'll never speak to you again. Every girl needs their father. Why should I be any different? Mom, please.
Fine. I'll meet you at my office, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Just as Mom gave Dad the address of her office, the MC stepped towards the mic and I held my breath.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for. And this year's winners of the musical competition are the a cappella sorority sisters.
We won! We won!
After the competition, we all went out to celebrate. And the next day, as promised, Mom met with Dad and she gave him a check of $10 million. She apologized to the both of us for what she did and told us that he could visit me anytime at the house. Everything in my life seemed to be going great. I had friends, my dad was around, but there was still something missing.
There's something I've been wanting to ask you for the longest while.
Yes?
Would you like to go on a date with me?
I thought you'd never ask.
Hi, my name is Gwen. You're probably wondering why I look chill in a situation like this. Well, let's just say, the moment we moved into this house, I knew there was something else right here with us, but they wouldn't listen. In fact, given what happened, it would be okay if it was just ghosts, but it was something much more sinister. Of course, before I continue, please like, share, and subscribe so you never miss our must-watch STA videos. On the first day here, while everyone was inside unpacking, I chose to be here and kick a ball around. I learned to play from my dear late dad. Oops! I tracked the ball and found it right in the hands of a crooked old woman wearing a hooded cloak who seemed to have appeared out of nowhere. Her nails were so long, they almost wrapped around the ball. Ick! My ball, please?
The last owner of your house disappeared.
Finally, she let me have the ball. and I wasted no time in speeding right back to my house. Once I was at the porch, I turned around to take another look at the woman, but the old woman was already behind me.
Stay away from the basement if you want to live.
Predictably, my mom and her husband didn't believe a thing I said when I told them about the old woman at dinner.
Gwen, don't you like the food?
You promised we'd have stir fry.
This is Iris's favorite, and it's her first night here.
It's everyone's first night here. How typical of Mom. Whatever her stepdaughter wanted, Mom made sure she got it. It made me wonder if she still loved me.
Girls, this house is so cheap. Wonder why the owner just left it empty for so long.
The old woman next door gave me a good reason why. This house is haunted.
We have a scaredy cat at the table. Want some milk, little kitty?
Girls! Great news. I think I can buy that beat-up Volkswagen we saw for sale in town with the money we saved from renting this place. That sixth-hand car? Ew. That reminds me. We need to stay away from the basement.
Exactly what the witch neighbor said.
There was a fire in the basement, so it's quite unstable.
Great! A haunted house built on an unstable basement. What could go wrong?
Nothing's going to go wrong.
Here's a good life hack to learn. Never say, what could go wrong when staying in a haunted mansion you just moved into because your cheapskate stepfather found the deal of a lifetime. Because it will always go wrong.
Oh, sorry, girls. I'll make it up to you.
You can start with us leaving this house.
Maybe it's a good thing we've moved into this house. We might get to see your real dad's ghost. Iris! Girls, let's get cleaned up.
After our terrible dinner, I just cleaned up and went to bed. How could she bring up my father like that? How could Mom let her? It made me so mad. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every shadow in my room became a monster. I couldn't stop thinking of Dad. We had a happy family back then. No Iris, no new stepdad. Yeah, it's haunted. You know those horror movies where characters go into scary rooms and you're like, don't go in there, fool! Yeah. Well, when in real life, it's a lot harder to stay in the room than go check things out. Still pretty foolish. Iris? Mom? Mom's husband? Who's there? I have a stick. 2 sticks.
Hey, it's just me, sweetheart. What is it?
I heard something.
Maybe it was the sound of me coming out of my room.
I also saw something. Like someone down there.
You worry too much. And just in case you forgot, my name's Koshnuts, not Mom's husband.
I like Mom's husband better. After that, I had even more questions. What was Mom's husband doing out of his room at that time of night? What stopped him from going downstairs to confirm what I saw? Something was fishy with that man and this house. The sooner I figured it out, the faster I could convince my mom that we should leave and go back home. The next morning, I went for a run to clear my head, but my shoes chose to disappoint before I could get home. Ugh, bad timing, Mr. and Mrs. Shoes. Ugh. The problem with not having a lot of money is that you have to buy pretty cheap things with short lifespans. Ouch! Watch where you're going.
Sorry, I think Bigfoot just walked through here. Saw footprints. Looks like you're the Bigfoot I was tracking.
The guy was very stunning. Black hair, blue eyes, he even had dimples. I'm a sucker for dimples. Dude, honestly.
Okay, you caught me. I'm just clumsy. I bet we've got the same shoe size.
Are you looking for trouble? I knew I had unusually big feet for a girl, but being insulted twice by a strange guy, that's something I wouldn't tolerate.
Not at all. Actually, your house is still pretty far off. Just take them. Don't worry, they don't stink. That much?
Thanks, but what about you?
My house is very close by. See ya!
Hey, how did you know where I live? For most of that day, all I thought about was that guy at the park. His manner of approach had been really awkward, but his cuteness more than made up for it.
The 6th disappearance of a set of priceless paintings from the National Museum has the whole city in confusion. Who is behind The National Museum? That's just a few blocks away from here.
Just then, Mom came and cuddled up next to Dad. Ugh, my eyes. Did they have to remind me they got married like a month ago? I looked away from them only to notice something about the painting hanging over the fireplace. Hey, how did this painting of the horse become an antelope today?
Gwen, the house isn't haunted.
It's called evolution. The horse has evolved into an antelope.
So many clowns in this world. I'm serious. That was a horse last night.
Miss Grumpy Pants, what's your deal?
You are my deal. You and your dad.
Gwen, you know why you're seeing and hearing things? Because you won't accept change. You're determined to hate this house and everything in it. You know what we need? A family outing. Do a little bonding? Might affect our budget for the month, but let's do it anyway. Next week? Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a pain. The last thing I wanted was to sit down and have a cozy chow feast with those two. I didn't ask for any of this. I was happy back home, at least while my dad was still alive. That evening, I found my first evidence to prove we weren't the only occupants of this house. Come here for a bit.
I don't want to wind up in the trash.
Look,
Okay, I'm looking at soda bottles. So?
nobody in this house drinks soda.
So who?
Exactly.
Are they a match, Sherlock?
Let's see where they go. I walked around the house only to see the footprint stop at a wall.
Oh, mighty sleuth wizard, you have found a wall. Brilliant.
Don't you know what this means? The basement.
Of course it does.
Iris, we found bottles. Tracks. I'm calling the police. At this point, I was majorly freaking out. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Hello? Police? Please come here right now. We are living in a haunted mansion. There's creaking, shadow people. Our food flew to our heads. A horse turned into an antelope. Now there's footprints. Hello? Police? Hello?
You know there's a law against prank calling the police. I'm telling Dad.
I couldn't believe that the police actually cut me off like that. And it made me wonder if I was actually going crazy. When Iris told my parents I called the police, they yelled at me for an hour straight. Just another terrible day. Early the next morning, I came out to the park again hoping to see Frank, return his shoes, and maybe chat.
Fancy meeting you here.
Thanks. What's your name?
Don't tell me. I'm Frank. You sound like someone whose name will start with a J or maybe G. Gina, Gabriel, Gwen,
It's Gwen. How did you...
I'm very good at guessing. You looked really worried before.
I guess the new house and I aren't getting along.
Missing old friends.
There's that, and then I've been hearing and seeing things that make me feel like the mansion is haunted.
Are you the ones that moved into the mansion abandoned for decades?
Yes.
That house, there's, lots of stuff going on. Your family, you want to keep them safe, right?
Frank, what are you talking about?
Just the basement. Stay away from it.
So says the witch next door, too.
Hey, I know. Let's go to the arcade.
Was he asking me out on a date? Sure. What have I got to lose? The time we spent at the arcade was the most fun I had had since we moved here. Frank and I played different games, and even though he beat me at most, I won a few. All too soon, we had to go.
I haven't had that much fun in years.
Huh? Why?
I should go now. I'll call you.
For some days after I told Frank about the house, nothing strange happened again. I began to feel that maybe everything had been in my head. Just as I was convincing myself nothing was wrong, the house had other ideas. For the special family bond time, Mom and Mom's husband took us to a fancy restaurant. The three of them did the talking and bonding. I kept to myself. I watched Dad go red when the waiter brought his bill, and then he began to search his pockets like crazy.
I can't find my wallet.
Do a mobile transfer then, dear.
I had 10 grand in that wallet. That's the last of our savings till our next salary.
Maybe it's at home?
With our luck, I just knew that wallet might never be found. The hotel management sent us home with 2 of their security guards, so we could get the money and settle with them. But when we got home, we searched the whole house and didn't find the wallet. Mom volunteered to clear the debt by washing dishes for the restaurant. It should have been her husband. He's the one that lost the money. The next morning, I came downstairs with one single thought: food. The pizza we left on the table was still there in its box, but when I opened it, Each piece had been eaten save for the tomato rings piled into a pyramid as if to mock me.
What now? Ghost pizza?
This was supposed to be for breakfast, and you ate it all?
I didn't. And Dad doesn't eat leftover pizza.
I felt goosebumps prick my skin as I stared at the pizza. The pizza didn't eat itself.
Okay. Maybe a hungry burglar?
When I showed him the pizza, he got a tense look on his face. First your wallet, now this. There's something or someone in this house. Call the police. That basement.
No one is calling the police. Dad, I think I agree with Gwen this time. I'll throw this in the bin.
I was 100% sure at this point that he must have had a hand in all the things that had been driving me crazy in this house. And that basement would have the answers I needed. I was determined to check it tonight. The next night, I crept out of my room and made for the basement. I was very close to the short staircase leading down to the basement when I noticed someone's shadow behind me. Who's there? Iris, you can't stop me.
I believe you now. Either there's a thief or a ghost. Let's get him.
A smile bloomed on my face as we stared at each other for a few seconds, and she smiled back. Finally, someone believed me. Just as I reached for the basement door handle, my phone rang.
It's midnight. Who's that?
Hello? Frank?
Hey, Gwen. Where are you now?
Just in my room. Reading a book?
Yeah? Can I see a picture of it?
Just a minute. Yes, shame on me. I did just leave Iris there at the basement door, but I couldn't tell Frank what we were really up to. Back in my room, I just grabbed a random book and took a photo of it.
No, I don't recognize it. Hey, I was wondering if we could go out tomorrow.
Getting invited on another date with Frank? I forgot all about the basement. All I could think of was our date tomorrow. But what happened was beyond my wildest dreams. Our date the next day was going really well until Frank suggested we get something to eat. Thanks.
Anytime.
So, you were talking about your brother.
He works in the National Museum.
The one paintings were stolen from?
Yeah.
Suddenly, Frank began to stack the tomatoes he's eating into the same pyramid pattern as the one the thief left last night. Was Frank the one who had been haunting our house? Memories of how we met and how he seemed to know things about me even before I told him. Then, what about Iris's dad? I was getting some odd signals from him too. I had to tell Iris about Frank. I have an errand to run. Sorry. Bye. My mind was on fire. Was Frank somehow living in our house? When I got back to the house, what I saw did not reassure me. Mom, what's going on?
Iris has been missing since this morning, honey. Did you see her?
No, I left for my date early this morning.
She's new here and maybe got lost wandering. We'll find her.
By evening, there was still no word from the police, and I became very worried. Maybe Iris was missing because we had gone too close to the basement. I had to tell my parents everything. Iris and I tried to go to the basement last night.
What? Why?
We didn't go in, okay? Well, I don't know if she did because I got a call and left her there. Or maybe whatever is in the basement took...
Oh no! Maybe she went in and the ceiling fell on her. Why do you believe that there's someone there?
I began to believe all of you that it was just in my head, but it's not. All the clues add up, and I think that you are protecting whatever is in there. Suddenly, Dad stood up and advanced on me threateningly. I stood my ground.
What are you saying?
I called the police, told them I kidnapped a girl and hid her in the basement. They will have to check by force now.
Gwen, I don't know.
Why didn't you call the police when Iris and I asked you to?
We still owe our former landlady some money. I heard recently that she filed a complaint to the police and I didn't want to talk to them. It's true, Gwen.
Well, if Mom said it was true, then it was.
Open up.
We all went downstairs and opened the door for the policeman. Then we led them to the basement.
We got an anonymous call that a girl was being held here. We think it may be Iris.
Despite all the police efforts to pry the basement door open, it wouldn't budge. I think I know another way. I led Dad and the policeman outside to the side of the house I had seen the footprints disappear to. I fumbled along the wall and suddenly, my hand hit a lever. The wall silently opened to the basement. I knew it!
Unbelievable. Everyone freeze! Dad! Big sister!
It was such a relief to see her again. I was feeling so guilty. If something had happened to Iris, it would have been my fault. And in that moment, I realized I didn't want anything more for Iris than for her to be okay. Same for our dad.
Iris, how did you end up here?
Gwen was right. I saw one of them in the house after you left, Gwen. He caught me and dragged me here.
We all hugged, and then I turned to look at the faces of the men who had been tormenting us. Frank? I knew it! You're a thief!
Not by choice. Please forgive me, Gwen.
The bearded guy beside Frank was his exact replica. It wasn't hard to put things together. Your brother works in the museum? Ha! More like stealing from the museum.
Let us handle this, miss. Great job. In fact, I'd say you're a hero.
Frank and the other guys were arrested, but because he was underage and truly had been forced into crime by his brother, he was given community service instead. It still hurt, but I could understand why he did it. And in a way, I was grateful. After all, if it were not for all the drama, I never would have figured out what was actually important. And what's that? My new family. We turned the basement into a game room. Hey, Dad.
Yes, Gwen?
It's Dad's last gift to me. Merle diamonds. Do you think it can get us something better than that beat-up Volkswagen?
Gwen, are you serious?
Yep. Why hold on to something that could make life better for us?
Thanks, Gwen. But the best place for this necklace should be right here. Your father gave this for you to keep. I'd never forgive myself if you sold this. And besides, I talked to the museum earlier today. Did you know there was a reward for finding all those paintings?
Really?
How much? We can get a real car. New car, new everything. We're rich. Gwen, I'm so sorry we didn't listen. You really are a hero.
Aw, I love you all.
I love you too.
After that incident, I tried to find the old woman again, only to find she had disappeared. Everyone said she never existed, but I know what I saw. What do you guys think? Was she real or something else? Something scary.
Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I've always been the most popular and beautiful girl in the class. You may think that my life sounds amazing, but trust me, it isn't. Being beautiful also has its downsides, especially when everybody stereotypes me because I'm blonde. One time in primary school, my teacher asked me to give a speech to the whole school about climate change. But as I walked onto the stage, my body just froze in fear. I was experiencing stage fright. Climate change is... My legs felt like they would tremble into another dimension.
She doesn't even know what she's talking about!
Looks like she gave up beauty for brains.
Everyone erupted into laughter. No, I do. And unfortunately, because of my stage fright, everyone thought I was dumb. My bad reputation stuck throughout the rest of my time at school, despite my good grades. Like this one time at school, we were hanging out when suddenly I heard a shout from across the field. The crowd was forming, and I rushed over to find a young, nerdy boy being picked on by the mean boy, Oscar.
Your eyes look like cubes. From now on, they should call you Cube Boy.
Oscar, leave him alone! You shouldn't pick on him for needing glasses. At least he has brains, unlike you. The other kids laughed, and Oscar huffed and ran away in embarrassment. Are you okay? I expected some kind of thank you, but all I got was...
I don't need your help, especially not from a blockhead.
Fine! Next time I won't help you! When I got home that evening, I was really nervous. Today was the day I would ask my mom if I could study to be a doctor. You see, I've always wanted to help people, and it's always been a huge dream of mine. Mom, I have a favor to ask. I want you to sign these university papers so I can go study medicine and— Hold the phone! You want to study medicine? As if! You will become a model. We can't be wasting those godlike features of yours. But no buts! Ugh! I stormed off to my room in anger. If my mom wouldn't let me study medicine, I'd just have to trick her into thinking I was going to uni for fashion. She would never know. She hardly even cared about my life. I was so excited to get started, but as I walked in, someone kicked a ball right at my head. Ouch! I looked up to find Prince Charming. At least he looked like a prince.
Are you okay?
Well, thanks. Are you new here as well?
Wait, you don't know who I am? Typical of a snobby princess like yourself.
Excuse you?
It's me, Charlie, from school.
That nerdy kid I rescued from that brute Oscar. But you're so handsome now.
Look, the fashion department is that way. This is the medicine section.
I know that. I'm going to become a doctor.
Sure thing.
What was that? What was wrong with this dude? He hadn't even apologized for hitting me in the head with a ball. In my first lecture, the stares of the other students were a little distracting.
Okay, class, who can tell me what the meaning of pyrexia is?
I raised my hand immediately, but another guy beat me to it. My blood boiled when I saw it was Charlie. He sniggered at me before answering.
Pyrexia is hypothermia.
Unfortunately, Charlie, that is incorrect. Anyone else?
Oh, me!
Yes?
Pyrexia is another word for fever.
Correct! Well done,
Scarlet.
Scarlet. Maybe Charlie here can learn a thing or two from you.
Now it was my turn to look smug. Oh, I loved the look on his shocked face. Later at lunch, I went to sit at a quiet table when a shy girl approached me.
Hi, my name is Katie, and I just wanted to say that you did really great in that lecture and…
But before she could say anything else, a flock of people pushed her aside and surrounded me.
That was amazing.
You're hot, and you've got the brains.
But before they could press in any further, I took a big sip of my milk and sprayed them all with it.
Ew, gross!
Let me pass, please. I went to sit at the table with Katie while they all stared in shock. You were saying? The crowd shuffled away in shock, but I didn't care. They had pushed Katie aside so rudely, as if she didn't exist.
Thank you for that, but you don't have to sit with me. I understand if you don't want to.
Oh, but I do. Tell me more about yourself, Katie. We got chatting, and sure enough, we really hit it off. One afternoon, Katie and I were studying in the library, and I went to get a book from the shelf, but it was too high. Suddenly, someone appeared from behind and got it for me. Thank you. Oh, it's you.
Aren't you gonna thank your knight in shining armor?
I smirked and leaned in. I was only playing with him, but when I leaned in, his face flushed with the brightest red I've ever seen. Was he blushing? Whoa, relax. I wasn't actually gonna kiss you.
Good. I would hate it if you, kissed me because, you're gross.
Then he ran out of there as if his pants were on fire. Well, that was weird. When I returned to Katie, I told her about Charlie being there. What? Did he see me? Wait a second. Do you have a crush on Charlie? Shh, don't tell anybody. But wait, are you sure you have a crush on him? Because, no offense, but he's kind of a dimwad. No, really, he's actually kind and sweet. Are we talking about the same Charlie? Listen, I was wondering if you could, help me out. I didn't know how I felt about this shocking news, but I agreed to help her. I started off by giving her a makeover. We boosted up her style, brushed her hair, and by the end of it, she was looking like a model.
How did you do it?
You already had it in you, baby. When we went to class that day, everyone was stunned by Katie. But when Charlie walked in, he didn't even glance at Katie. Instead, he turned to me.
Hello, princess.
Really? That's the best you can do? No matter what we tried, Charlie paid Katie no attention. As we left class, though, we ran into a face from the past.
Oscar?
Oh, hi, Scarlet. How?
When he noticed Katie, his jaw dropped.
Are you Oxygen? Because I need you in my life.
I rolled my eyes, but Katie was blushing. Ugh, come on, Katie. You can do better than Oscar. Even though Charlie didn't seem to care about Katie, he had no problem teasing me all the time. Eventually, I decided I would do Katie a favor and just tell Charlie she liked him. So one evening, I knocked on the door to his dorm.
Scarlet, what are you doing here?
Listen, I'm just gonna come out and say it. My bestie Katie has a crush on you, and she's a really wonderful person and you should date her.
Oh, there's one problem though. I kinda have a crush on someone else.
Seriously, who could be better than Katie?
Well, you.
My jaw fell open and I started gasping like a fish. And I don't know how I did it, but I threw my cup of juice in his face and ran off. I guess I was just so confused. He was always teasing me. How could he have a crush on me? I didn't tell Katie about the strange encounter. I didn't even know how I felt. But the universe works in mysterious ways, because one day, our professor assigned us partners for a science project, and he paired me with Charlie.
I wish I could be paired with Charlie.
It was so awkward. Somehow, Charlie and I managed to finish our project, and the day came to present it to the class. But when I walked in front of everyone, my legs started wobbling like jello. This presentation,
What's wrong?
I have major stage fright. I saw Charlie hesitate, but then he held my hand tightly.
Don't worry. I'm right here.
And somehow, that small touch gave me enough courage to speak. After we finished, I hugged Charlie and I felt like I was blushing too. But then I saw Katie in the crowd and I immediately felt a wave of guilt wash over me. Why did she have to like him? But surprisingly, when I met up with Katie later, she gave me some shocking news.
You remember that guy Oscar we met the other day? Well, he asked me on a date, and I said yes.
What? But I thought you liked Charlie.
I mean, I did, but he pays me no attention, and Oscar has been so loving.
I was so happy for Katie, but for reasons she didn't realize. One night, there was a massive party, and Katie forced me to go since Oscar was going. When we arrived, she left to go find Oscar, and I went outside by the pool. I was standing there, brooding in my own thoughts, when suddenly a crazy dude ran past and knocked me into the pool. My dress was so heavy in the water that it kept dragging me down. I was so scared. But then a strong hand grabbed me out of the water and held me in a tight hug.
You're okay. It's okay.
We hugged tightly, and I realized in that moment how amazing Charlie was. So I kissed him. It felt magical. But then there was a cry behind us.
How could you?
Katie, you don't even like Charlie anymore. You're with Oscar now, and... But she ran off before I could say anything else. From that night on, Katie stopped speaking to me, avoiding me in hallways, ignoring me in class. It was so immature. But I didn't realize just how far she would go when I got to my room and found a big sign on the wall in red, "Don't become a doctor." I wondered who could have done this when there was a sudden knock at the door. I was shocked to see Charlie there, looking all nervous.
Hey, Scarlett, I was wondering.
When Charlie saw the message, his eyes widened.
Oh no! Don't worry. We'll clean this up.
Charlie calmed me down, and then together we started washing off the paint. But then there was another knock at the door. Man, was I popular today. I went to answer and was surprised to see Katie.
Listen, Scarlett, we need to talk.
At that moment, Charlie stepped into view and Katie's eyes widened. Then she looked angry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Majesties. Am I interrupting something?
Suddenly, I realized who was behind the threatening message. It was you! You wrote the message! I showed her the red paint on the wall. Do you really think I would stoop that low? That's it! You've insulted me enough! We're through! Katie and I officially broke our friendship. I was sad, but I couldn't stay friends with someone who would write a message on my wall like that. Luckily, though, I had Charlie. He asked me out, and I said yes. And we were having a study session one day when Charlie poked my nose.
You look so cute when you're thinking.
We leaned in and we were about to kiss when I picked up the phone and Mom answered. What's up, Mother? Scarlett, I'm on my way to see you. What? No. You? Oh, I'm going through a tunnel. I'll see you soon. My heart dropped like a stone. If my mom found out I was studying medicine, she would force me to leave uni. Quick, remove any evidence of medicine from my room.
What?
Just do it! With Charlie's help, I took down all of my doctor's posters, my medicine books, my papers, everything. We then replaced everything with fashion-themed stuff just in time for the door to open, and there was my mom. Scarlett! Oh, how I've missed you, sweetie. And who's this young man? My friend, Charlie. Ooh, another fashion student. Who's your favorite fashion icon?
Abraham Lincoln.
What? Anyway, glad you got to meet Charlie, but he's gotta go. Bye, Charlie! I was so relieved when my mom finally left. There was one strange moment, though, as she was leaving. Listen, Scarlett, is there anything you want to tell me before you leave? No? Okay. That short scare with my mom was soon forgotten about. The next day, when Charlie invited me for a picnic, it was so romantic. Oh no, I forgot I made sandwiches. I left them in my room.
Don't worry, I'll go get them.
He left from my room, but a few minutes later, he came running back in a panic.
There's smoke coming from your dorm.
What? We ran over to find all my medicine papers were destroyed, burned to a crisp. No! All my research! My hard work! Who did this? There was a sound from the closet, and we both froze.
I think the culprit is still in here.
We crept over and Charlie flung the door open. I was fully expecting to find Katie there, but I was shocked to see my mom instead. Mom? You were behind this! And that message, did you write that too? Yes. I'm sorry, honey, but when I found out you were studying medicine, I had to put a stop to it. Why? Because you're beautiful. It would be an injustice not to become a model. Can't you see that I'm more than just a pretty face? All my life, people have called me dumb and stupid just because I don't look like your typical smart nerd or whatever. I need you to support me with this. It's my dream to become a doctor.
And she's really smart. Smartest in our class, actually.
I smiled at him gratefully, and then my mom let out a sigh. I suppose I have been a little harsh. Fine. I'll let you become a doctor, but only if you promise to keep up your skincare routine. I would never dream of letting that go. We all laughed, and it seemed this was the end of my story. But there was one more thing that needed resolving. Graduation came along, and I was honored with giving the valedictorian speech. I expected the same stage fright as before when I walked on stage, but surprisingly, I felt very calm. All my life, people have told me what I'm supposed to be. Nothing more than a pretty face. But today proves them wrong. The crowd cheered, and as I walked off the stage, Katie appeared. Scarlett, I owe you an apology. My parents were the ones who sabotaged my thesis. I'm sorry I accused you wrongly. And things with Charlie, I'll break up with him if you need me to. I'll do anything for you. No, don't do that. I'm with Oscar now, and just because I used to have a crush on Charlie doesn't mean you can't date him. Let's make sure a guy never comes between us again. Never. We hugged, and it was the perfect end to my story. Okay, if we get this right, we will have created the perfect cleaning solution.
Or we're going to blow up my house.
Okay, ready? Let's do it.
Oh no, we put in too much soap.
I have always been like my dad, a smart genius. And because of my dad, I met my best friend Trevor. His dad and my dad worked together. We went to the same school, and sometimes we would hang out together. Until one day, his dad ruined everything. Mr. Smith had always been nice to me, but when he came into the room that day, he seemed so weird.
Hey, Erica, here's a gift for you.
What's this, Mr. Smith?
It's a prototype of a new computer game. I want you to be the first one to test it.
I should have known something was wrong when I saw his sly smile. Thanks, Mr. Smith.
Oh, yes. Just make sure to play it on your dad's computer.
I had no idea Mr. Smith had been working against my dad. Usually, I never messed with my dad's work computer, but I loved video games and Mr. Smith insisted. When I got home, I started to play the game Mr. Smith gave me, but then weird messages started to pop up. The disk turned out to be a virus. The computer started to smoke, and before I knew it, the entire thing blew up. My dad rushed into the room.
Erica, what are you doing in my office? What happened to my computer?
Sorry, Dad. I just wanted to play the game Mr. Smith gave me.
On my computer? You're dumb. Video game obsession caused all this. All my work for the big day was on there. Now what am I going to do?
It was too late. I had ruined all of my dad's work for his big presentation.
I knew I should have gotten rid of these stupid video games. They belong in the trash.
My dad gathered up all of my video games and threw them away. Dad, please don't throw my games away. It was an accident.
Now, you can't get into any more trouble in our new neighborhood.
New neighborhood? And that's when I found out my dad was moving the entire family out of town. With his project destroyed, my dad stood no chance against Mr. Smith, and he was fired. The next day, moving vans showed up to our house. I couldn't stop crying, thinking that this would be the last time I would see Trevor. My whole life was going to change, and it wasn't just because we were moving to a different city.
Now remember, we all need to work extra hard since I lost my job.
I'll do whatever I can to help out, Dad. You can count on me. Hey! Slow down! I can't! It's too slippery! Did you just hit me with a snowball? Of course not. I think that snowball from Miranda was meant for me, so thank you for taking it for me. I'm Lisa. I'm a fashion designer. I'm Erica, and now I'm freezing. Where's this Miranda? I've got a bone to pick with that girl. No, don't do it. She makes the most money for the store, therefore she runs it. She can make your life miserable here, Erica. Besides, forget about her. Today is the big day.
What's so special about today?
Hunter is the richest guy in town, and today he's doing his Christmas shopping. And this year, he's going to pick my design for his Christmas list. I just know it.
Are those your designs?
Oh no, all my samples are wet.
Lisa and I quickly became friends. Even though I missed Trevor, it was nice to have someone to talk to again. And then I met the terror that is Miranda.
Oh, how cute. She found a friend to play with in the dirty snow. How fitting.
I don't know who this girl thought she was, but I know she wasn't talking to me like that.
You should watch who you throw things at. Some people may throw things back. Whatever. You both smell like wet dogs. Just stay away from Hunter so you don't ruin my big Christmas sale.
I thought Miranda was going to be the worst part of working at the store, but the customers were just as bad. Working in the store during the holidays was the worst. Everyone was so rude. It didn't help that Miranda and her little friends were trying to make my life as difficult as possible. But that day, I met the most entitled person I have ever met. Even thinking about it makes my blood boil.
And I will take this whole section to decorate my dog houses.
Hey, excuse me. I'm working here.
And who are you?
I'm annoyed. Nice to meet you. Now, if you don't mind, I have to clean this all up.
Work? What is that? You're funny and cute. And I want her as well.
Hey, buddy, I'm not for sale. I just work here. Hey, Richie Rich, I think you need a serious wake-up call. I work for everything I get, buddy.
Fine. Then I will buy the store. That makes you my employee.
Whatever, dude. I'm going to lunch. But when I got back from lunch that day, the whole store was empty. It was like Thanos had done the snap or something. When I got outside, Hunter was waiting outside the store in front of a limo. Where is everyone?
I told you, I bought the store, and now you and I can be together. Can't you see? I've fallen head over heels for you. You've basically won the lottery.
Are you insane? This is my only job, and I need to help my parents pay for our home.
You don't understand. My father is rich, and I can get whatever I want for my Christmas present, and I've chosen you.
Once again, moneybags, I'm not for sale. And besides, I'm in love with someone else. See ya.
You should know I always get what I want.
Well, not with me. As much as I wanted to ride home in a limo after a long day, I walked in the snow all the way home. But when I got home, I was surprised to find my family throwing a party.
Oh, hey honey, welcome to the party.
What's going on here?
Great news, honey. Your father has been offered a job.
Not only that, but someone is going to pay for our house for a year.
That's great, but who exactly is giving us all this free stuff?
That's the best part, hon. It's a mystery. They just said it was a secret admirer. Isn't that amazing?
I think I had an idea of who would be so over-the-top extra like this.
Go up to your room, hon. Our secret admirer even left a gift for you.
My room was full of every luxury item I could imagine. It was like I had opened up my own department store. On my bed was a note with an address on it.
My dearest Erica, this is just a taste of the life and luxury you and your family will have if you will be my girlfriend. Meet me at my mansion tomorrow at noon with your suitcase. Your love, always, Hunter.
What an absolute lunatic. But a lunatic who could change my family's life. I was torn on what to do. I didn't want to ruin my dad's joy or his new job, so I went to see exactly what this rich jerk wanted.
Ah, you must be Master Hunter's Christmas gift. You've arrived quite early.
I'm no one's gift, okay? I'm just here to help my dad. Now, where's Hunter?
Right this way. I'll show you to your room.
My room? When the butler opened the door, I saw a room full of presents as far as the eye can see.
Master Hunter wants you to live here for the next week. That way on Christmas Day, we can have his grand unwrapping.
Stay here? No way! I'm not spending the holiday away from my family.
But your father has already signed a contract for you to stay here. Think of it as a Christmas vacation.
I couldn't believe I was stuck in this ridiculous place, and I couldn't believe my dad would sign me up for this. I needed to find a way out of here. I started searching for an exit, and then...
Finally! I was wondering when you would get here.
Lisa? What are you doing here?
I heard that Hunter fell head over heels with you, and I told a little white lie that I was your clothing designer.
Lisa, we need to get out of here. This Hunter kid is crazy. He thinks he can have people as his Christmas present.
That's not exactly normal. It's not that bad, Erica. You can order whatever food you want, and our parents get so much money.
Yeah, Lisa, but we're a rich jerk's presents. Just then, the door burst open, and a tall woman came into the room.
Oh, excellent. The new toys have arrived. You must be the one my precious Hunter found at the department store today. I'm his mom, and we need to make Hunter's Christmas perfect.
Toy? Listen, lady, you better let me go right now. We're not your son's entertainment.
Nonsense. You're going to miss the Christmas party if you leave now.
I don't want to go to a party. I want to spend the holidays with my family.
Okay, fine. Bring him in.
Dad, thank goodness you're here. These people are insane. Let's get out of here.
Well, just a second, honey. This seems like a pretty good deal. They are going to give me money to start my revenge project against Trevor's dad.
Dad, who cares about Mr. Smith? Can't we just move on? My dad would hear none of it. He just wanted to get back at Mr. Smith, and now I was the one who was paying for it.
Don't worry, honey. It's only a week. Look at all these things you have to play with. And you have your new friend here. Have fun.
Come on, friend, it'll be a blast. This opportunity is going to change our lives.
That night, we were forced to go to the most pretentious party ever. When my dad said I had to work, this wasn't exactly what I was picturing.
Isn't this great? Look at all these rich and famous people.
Are you kidding me?
We look ridiculous.
Yes, you do. Oh boy, my night had gotten a lot worse. I wondered why Hunt would ever be interested in someone like you.
But now I know it was to embarrass you and your little friend.
You're just jealous Hunter didn't choose you.
After tonight he will.
Or I will find another millionaire here to be my boyfriend, and you'll still be dressed like Santa's little helper.
Whatever, gold digger. Just then, Hunter stood up and the room went silent.
You are all very welcome for me inviting you to my son's Christmas party. I hope the gifts you have given him are acceptable. We would like to announce that this year for Christmas, we have found Hunter a girlfriend. Erica, please come to the front.
This had to be the most embarrassing moment of my life.
Go on.
They made me stand up there like I was some trophy. I was so mad with everyone clapping like trained seals. And just then, I saw him. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Trevor. What was he doing here? And how did he get so cute in just a year? I barely heard what Hunter's mom said next, but when I did, I was shocked.
And in a few weeks, when Erica marries our dear Hunter...
Excuse me? I don't think so.
Mom, I don't understand why she is speaking to me in this manner.
Listen, I can't do this. I have to go. I'm not going to be told what to do by anybody, let alone some rich jerks. I felt like I wanted to scream, but then Trevor came in. When I looked at him, all of my anxiety went away. So I ran to him and gave him a big hug.
I thought I would never see you again. What are you doing in a place like this? About to marry a stuck-up guy like that?
It's a long story. Why are you here?
I wanted to contact you, but I couldn't find you. The cleaning project we were working on at my house is a hit. I was going to get Hunter to be an investor, and we can make millions.
Maybe I can help you with that, Trev. That night, I convinced Hunter that I had a business idea, and he was more than happy to finance it if it meant I married him. Little did they know, I had my fingers crossed and a trick up my sleeve.
Fine. I'll finance your little project. But a week from now, on Christmas, you and I will be married.
Okay, guys, that can't happen. We have to get to work, and quickly. With Hunter's money, I was able to buy back the department store. And with a little help from Trev and Lisa, I was going to make it awesome. With Lisa's clothes and Trevor's invention, we were ready for opening day. Everyone who was anyone was going to be here.
Oh my goodness, look at how many influencers are here. We're definitely going viral.
You'll be able to get away from Hunter and support your family on your own in no time.
I couldn't have done it without your help. And just then, Trevor picked me up and hugged me. Little did I know, one of the influencers caught Trevor and I on camera.
Oh my goodness, that's Chloe. She's the hottest fashion vlogger in the country. You have to talk to her.
As I was doing my interview, what I didn't see was Miranda and her friends sneaking into our grand opening. They went to all of our clothes and splattered them all with paint. When we started our fashion show, I thought Miranda had ruined everything. The fashion models began to walk out and everyone gasped. The clothes had paint streaks all over them.
Oh no! What happened to my clothes?
I think I have an idea. That was it. I was sick of dealing with this jealous bully. I needed to give her a piece of my mind.
Looks like the designs from your loser friend are ruined. I told you that you shouldn't mess with me.
I was ready to snap, but then I heard an applause, and then everyone began to stand up.
It's brilliant, dramatic, stunning. This is my fashion line of the year.
Watching Miranda's face as the whole store and fashion industry applauded us was priceless. I was so happy that I had forgotten all about Hunter and our arrangement.
Did you really think I wouldn't see you with him? I see everything. You've been using me to see this guy. Look at him. He's so poor. Hey, I'm not poor. Oh yes, you are. I am taking back my funding, and you and your loser friends will have nothing when you could have had everything.
I do have everything. I have a good family and friends and talent. I don't need your money. Just then, my dad jumped in between Hunter and I.
Don't listen to my crazy daughter. I just need a little more time to get back
Enough with the revenge stuff, Dad. If someone does us wrong, we just move on and do better. We don't need their money. And then Hunter's mom came with her lawyers next to her.
You have a contract that your family signed. What my son wants for Christmas, he gets.
Well, not this time. Erica doesn't owe you anything. I paid off her contract.
Trevor, you didn't have to do that. How could you afford to do that?
I sold our cleaning product to a major company, and we made millions. Enough to get you away from these crazy people.
What a great Christmas gift.
Is there anything else you want?
Maybe just a vacation from my Christmas vacation.
What about your old video games?
You really do know everything I want.
Hey, just call me Santa Claus.